guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Mail. So for today, I'm going to read a very interesting and educational email I was sent from a subscriber. This is from a guy I believe he's either in his late 30s or early 40s, and he shares his story how, in a nutshell, how he ends up going to the dark side, and I do mean the dark side, after being fully taken advantage of and hurt by a couple serious girlfriends he had in high school and college. And you're going to see in this story, our guy here, not knowing any better, and obviously conditioned to be this way, was your classic nice guy. Nice guy, blue pill, clueless, white knight, that whole thing. And when he sees what happens to guys like that and what happens to him, he goes the exact opposite side of the spectrum and becomes a complete and total D-bag chattered Tyrone. And to no surprise, you're going to see, one, he goes on a path of revenge, and also the fact that he becomes what he most despises. And ultimately, it's a very interesting ending, and you're going to see he learns that's not the way to be and all that. And that'll be a good one to go over here, guys. There's a lot of lessons in this story, which I'll point out along the way, but the biggest one is this. If you are honest with yourselves, and you got to be honest with yourselves, gentlemen, I'm sure the vast majority of you guys watching this, either right now or at least at some point, were a lot like this, in varying degrees. The nice guy. Clueless, overly nice, overly accommodating, white knight, blue pill, all those things. And really loathe the Chad and Tyrone D-bag type of guys that got all the girls, maybe your girl cheated on with. But the last thing you want to do is become like them, even though it's tempting. You don't want to be how you were, but you don't want to be just like them. The trick is to find the balance, the happy medium, the sweet spot, if you will, where you possess positive qualities that nice guys have, being a good guy in general, being hardworking, being reliable, all these positive qualities, but also you possess some of the qualities that the bad boys have, where you don't take crap from anybody. You don't put anybody, and I mean anybody, on a pedestal. You set boundaries with people. You check people. This isn't just the girlfriends and wives. This is anybody. Those are the things that they possess. You have a backbone. You take charge. You march to the beat of your own drum. Find the sweet spot in the middle. That's what you want to be. That way you're not like the D-bags, but you're not like the guys you want to smack upside the head, the clueless nice guys. The problem is a lot of guys go one extreme or the other, and you're going to see that here. And this guy now, after making a lot of mistakes, has reached a path of, well, you'll see. So, and by the way, guys, this is actually pretty long, so this is going to be a two-parter. A little too long for one story, but a little shorter for the two parts, but you'll get it all tonight. So I'll publish this now, and you'll get part 2 within 2 hours. So he says here, Dear SSM, I'm a recent subscriber to your channel. YouTube recommended one of your videos to me last month, and I've been watching you ever since. Well, brother, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the community. And I appreciate you having the balls to write in. Honestly, I do wish channels like yours existed 20 years ago. It might have prevented a lot of the stupid decisions I made when I was younger. But what's done is done. I wanted to share my experiences in the hope that some young guy out there won't repeat the same mistakes. There you go. I appreciate you writing this in, man, because you do some things, let me tell you, are pretty freaking low. But at least you now recognize this and you're sharing your story. This makes it a video. Go easy with the smacks. No promises, amigo, because you got them coming. Well, you can call me Adam. I was born and raised in Tennessee, and my parents are still happily married to this day. Well, despite that, I didn't really grow up with a strong male role model. I love my dad, but he's never been a very assertive person. My mom is the one who runs the marriage. Smack to your dad. I'm sure your dad's a great guy, but this is the problem. Young guys being raised by happy wife, happy life fathers, and well, you see what happens. Needless to say, he's very much a happy wife, happy life kind of guy. The other men in my family are pretty much the same way. See? He's conditioned. This is most families. This is what most guys experience. And again, the fathers don't have to be assholes. They just need to be a little assertive and, I have 2 older sisters and a younger one. Growing up, I got the same relationship advice from all my family members. To treat a woman like a queen, and she'll fall in love with you. Yeah, we'll smack all your family members. Just line them all up in front of me, and I'll just smack every one of them. Over time, I learned how wrong that advice could be. But back then, I believed it completely. I was as blue-pilled as they come. Well, you were conditioned for that, man. And do you think those same sisters of yours really went for guys that treated them like the queen? I would probably say no. I got into my first serious relationship in high school. I will call her Stacy. She was a bit on the chubby side, but still very cute. Just admit it, man. You like the girls with the junk in the trunk. A girl with an ass. Why do you think I moved to Florida? There are big asses everywhere. Big ass and small waist. We bonded over shared interests and became close friends. Eventually, I developed feelings for her, but I couldn't work up the courage to ask her out. Smack! Just go for it, dude. What do you got to lose? But that's what most guys do. I did the same thing. When it's a girl you don't really care either way, then you ask them out because you don't care either way whether they turn you down or not. And interestingly, those girls like you. But when it's the ones you really like, oh, you just wait around for the perfect moment and all that shit. And next thing you know, you're in the friend zone, and all she sees you as a brother. So always go for it, guys. Anything in life, just fucking go for it. Well, I was a skinny, acne-covered kid growing up back then and never really got attention from girls. Back in middle school, I had a crush on a girl in my class and finally worked up the courage to ask her out. It went horribly. She laughed in my face and looked disgusted. Bitch. At least you tried. By the next day, everybody at school knew about it. Kids being kids, I became the butt of every joke and got bullied over it. That sucks, man. Unfortunately, I wish that you could have just learned at the time to roll with it. But the thing is, when you're young, there's always going to be something else. There'll be some new scandal, if you will, some junior high scandal that people will pay attention to 2 or 3 days later. To make matters worse, I already had insecurities about my looks. My cousin used to joke that I was the ugly one in the family. Not to insult my dad, but I'm basically his clone, while my sisters all took after my mom. My mom used to model part-time for a woman's fashion magazine, by the way. There's a running joke in the family about how my dad managed to land her. Anyhow, you can probably understand where those insecurities came from. I get it, man, but let me make a point. Ugly dudes can get girls. How many rock stars are butt-ugly fucking guys, and they have punani lining up a mile away? Now, yes, I know they're rock stars, and yes, I know they're, depending on who you talk to, famous and have money, but even guys just starting out, they're playing in a local band. They can be butt-ugly, but I guarantee when they go play at local bars, again, because it's that rock star attitude, that you have to develop. That takes time, developing the charisma. Anyway, let's see here. A middle school experience was the cherry on top. I became withdrawn and depressed. I even started wearing hoodies on a hot summer day. Well, that seems to be that's what all the Gen Zs do nowadays. Fucking Florida, it's 90 degrees, you see these kids wearing hoods. It's like, what the hell? Before long, Stacy started dating a sophomore guy from our school. I stayed friends with her. Watching her with him was painful. Been there, man, as with many guys there. You snooze, you lose. The thing is, when you're young, most guys do have pimples and are skinny, but you got to take action. You know, mom and dad, I need to go to the fucking doctor and get the right prescribed medication to get rid of these zits. And I'm going to hit the gym, and I don't know how to hit the gym. I'm going to ask somebody to help me lift weights and better myself. That's what you got to do. The guy was your stereotypical Chad. He treated Stacy terribly and cheated on her constantly. She'd come to tell me all the time complaining about him. I bought into the BS Hollywood fantasy that if I treated her well enough, that she'd eventually realize I was the better guy and leave me for him, so I became her white knight. Smack! Dude, a lot of guys have done that. I'll admit that I did that in high school a couple times. And do you think I ever got the girl? No. Oh, she'd more than happy call me up at 11 o'clock at night and cry and talk about how much of a jerk he is. This happened to me, guys. I'm being honest with you. And I'm thinking, yes, I got her now. That guy screwed up. She went crying right back. She went right back to that guy the second he called her. I learned. Despite everything she complained about, she never left him. Eventually, though, he dumped her for another girl. That's how Chad and Tyrone roll. Like always, she came running back to me. I spent the whole day comforting her and even took her to the movies. Did you change your tampons too, dude? A week later, the young me mastered the courage to confess my feelings. God. Confessed your feelings like I'm so in love with you. I've loved you since the moment I saw you. Or did you just ask her out? I'm going to guess you did the fucking professing your feelings shit. To my surprise, she said yes. No, because she's desperate. At school, she was very affectionate toward me. When we were alone, not so much. Looking back, it's obvious she's trying to make her ex jealous. But I was too blind to see at the time. We dated until our senior year. Yep. At least on some level, I'm trying to find a positive spin to this. At least on some level, you obviously got some experience with her. Maybe on some level. I know you said you didn't get very much behind the scenes, but at least something came out of it. But well, one day Stacy came to me crying and said that she had something important to tell me. With how much she was crying, I thought one of her relatives might have died. Then she told me she was pregnant. I'm guessing since you weren't hooking up, it must have been a miracle. Must have been a miracle from the Lord. Unless, wait for it, she was cheating on you. For a moment, I didn't know how to react. Stacy and I had never gone all the way. She always said her family was very religious, and she wanted to wait until marriage. That child couldn't have been mine. There ain't no way she was pure with the former boyfriend, so this crap about she wants to wait till marriage, yeah, what a load of crap. That's what they do to a lot of these nice guys. You're just a placeholder until she replaces you or the other guy comes back. When I asked her whose baby it was, she admitted it was her ex's. I completely broke down and asked her, how could she do this to me? She started apologizing and giving every excuse in the book. According to her, she'd gone to a party a few weeks ago, and her ex was there. Some guys there were able to get their hands on some beer, they got drunk, and ended up sleeping together. She swore that this was a drunken mistake, and she didn't do anything with him before. Sure, honey. Well, this is when you should have been dumping her. Then she told me something even crazier. Oh, what? She wanted me to pretend to be the father. That's her perception of you, man. That you're such a nice guy, you'll pretend to be the father. Her parents liked me, and she believed they would accept the pregnancy if they thought I was the dad. She said if they found out that who the real father was, they'd throw her out because they wouldn't like her ex. Well, that's what she deserves. Apparently, his dad was in prison, and his mother was an addict. What a great guy for a young girl to chase after. And they do. I want to point out something, guys, that not all, a lot, but not all chase after or go for the Chad and Tyrone. There are some gals that recognize they're scumbags and don't fall for it. But the majority do, especially the young ones. Well, like the complete idiot I was, I actually told her I needed time to think about it. Hang on. Smack, smack. What the fuck, dude? Man, you were brainwashed by your moron family in fucking Hollywood. Gee, the nice guy shit didn't work before. What makes you think it's going to work now? But you heard those tears. Ah! Well, I went home devastated. Meanwhile, Stacy kept texting me nonstop. I was heartbroken over being cheated on while she was panicking about how to pin the baby on me. My family immediately noticed something was wrong. My little sister, who was maybe 7 or 8 years old at the time, gave me a moon pie to cheer me up, and I completely broke down and told them everything. That's sweet. 7 or 8-year-old giving you a moon pie. My parents were furious. They drove me to Stacy's parents' house at night. When my mom confronted her, Stacy initially denied cheating and claimed I was the father. Oh my God, she's a snake. Her parents had no idea what was going on and were completely blindsided. Well, there was a lot of screaming and arguing. Once I showed the text messages, Stacy finally admitted the truth. You know, all that should truly have been your R-pill awakening, but you had to suffer a little bit more before you really went to the dark side. That night, she sent me angry texts calling me every name imaginable. Please tell me you told her to go fuck herself. She told me I was a sore loser and admitted that she had been sleeping with her ex behind my back the whole time. Take snapshots of that and send that to her parents. I couldn't believe this girl was the Stacy I knew. Dude, you never knew her. After that, I never saw Stacy at school again. Her parents switched her to homeschooling for the rest of the senior year. She ended up having the baby. I didn't date anybody else in high school after that. Well, I can't blame you. And earlier when I said trying to find some silver line to the situation, I mean, I don't know, did you get a fucking French kiss out of that? Or maybe some people saw you with her, so somebody thought that gave you some social proof. I don't know. But man, that's rough. I'm sorry it happened to you, man. But your story, in varying degrees, is what a lot of guys went through. Really. I scored a 1410 on my SATs and got accepted into a very good college. Well, congratulations, man. During freshman year, I met another girl. I'll call her Jenny. Jenny, huh? What an appropriate name for what we're about to hear. Jenny was incredibly smart and a 12 out of 10 look-wise. I'm sure if you're not, didn't hear me say this yet because you're new, 9s and 10s aren't relationship material. They're the ones you bang and you pass on to the next individual. 7s and 8s can be relationship material, but you better be prepared to lay out boundaries and you're going to definitely have some work. But 12 out of 10, good God almighty. Naturally, she was very popular. Somehow we started talking and eventually became friends. By then, my acne had cleared up, but I was still very insecure about my looks. Jenny, though, was surprisingly easy to talk to. She was easy to talk to, or you were easy for her to talk to about the stupid shit that Stacy was talking to you about. So let's be clear what that probably was. Well, not wanting to repeat the mistakes of Stacy, I asked her out fairly early on. Well, good for you for having the balls to do that. Unfortunately, you're still a nice guy. To my surprise, she said yes. She told me that she wanted to take things slow, which I agreed to. Uh-oh. And oh yeah, smack. Do you think a gal in the looks department who's a 12 out of 10, who has no shortage of dudes in college and much older coming after her, kept it slow, the rest of it, and you're agreeing to this? Remember, guys, and I should have mentioned this in the beginning for you new people, plenty of gals out there will have a guy be their boyfriend as the one to show off to the world and build a future with. Meanwhile, the guys they really are turned on by and have had a pass with are the low-lives Chad and Tyrone's. Or, sadly, are cheating with Chad and Tyrone. They have the guy they want to take it slow with and parade around to their family, and some guy for the future who they're making an investment with, but that guy doesn't get anything. Let's see what happens. That is when I met her friend group. They were a flock of toxic harpies. The leader of the group, I will call Jessica, had dyed blue hair and was a radical feminist. Oh, she sounds like a lot of fun. 7 out of 10 words out of her mouth was about everything bad in the world is because of men and the patriarchy. She constantly made passive-aggressive comments towards the guys in the group. I'd tell her to fuck off. One night, Jenny and her friends were hanging out at a guy's place, and a few of us tagged along. I never met the guy before. I will call him Victor. Victor was a freshman too, but he was a couple years older than the rest of us. We were all hanging out when Jessica started on another one of her anti-man rants. The guys in the group remained silent, but Victor said something that pissed Jessica off. Because Victor, although we know you're going to find out Victor is a big D-bag, was an alpha. And an alpha, especially if it's your house and some girls are giving attitude and talking shit, you're going to say what's on your mind. The rest of you nice guys like, oh, don't want to make the feminists mad. I love making feminists mad. And I don't just do it on here. I've definitely butted heads with some feminists in my life. It happened a while back, and I don't remember what exactly she said, but Jessica got personal with Victor. Jenny and her other friends go along with whatever Jessica says. This time, though, Jenny and Angie, who personally knew Victor, were trying to stop Jessica from saying anything else. They were unsuccessful, though. The part of the conversation I think I remember was very clearly, it left an impression. Victor said, I'll give you 10 seconds to get out of my house. Jenny said, what? Victor said, I won't repeat myself, woman. Jenny says, excuse me? Victor says, you see, I'm a firm believer in equality. If you're still in my sight after 10 seconds, I'll be happy to demonstrate it. He says, Victor, that motherfucker actually started counting. It's his house. All these people were over there in his house. And and I don't know if you made a typo. Was it Jenny, your girlfriend, that started giving him shit? Or the blue-haired feminist named Jessica? I think he meant Jessica. But anyhow, Victor ain't taking any shit. As most alphas don't. And all nice guys should develop that quality. Well, a couple guys in the group, including myself, tried to be the white knight and try to calm Victor down. Smack! Victor is extremely tall, Middle Eastern dude that's built like a truck. He was covered in tattoos and had a huge scar on the left side of his neck. Despite trying to calm him down, everybody there was scared shitless. Soon, Jessica almost ran out of there. Okay, you meant Jessica, not Jenny in that thing. So the blue-haired Jessica was given the attitude. See? Okay, Victor, very tall, Middle Eastern dude that's built like a truck. Obviously, he's an American living here, but that's his descent, background. Covered in tattoos. G, the kind of low life that the gals go for. The entire atmosphere became awkward after that, and everybody eventually left. A few months later, Jenny and I officially became exclusive. Everything seemed perfect. About a year later, we were even talking about moving in together. Here's a question, were you hooking up? That's what I want to know. Or just like Stacy, taking it slow. Well, one night, I was at Jenny's apartment while she was sleeping beside me. The day before, we had gone to a cafe that made custom latte art, and for some reason, I don't remember anymore, I wanted to look through the pictures that she had taken. I knew her phone password, so I unblocked it. While scrolling, I found a topless selfie of her. Shocker. Then another, and another, and another. The timestamp showed they'd been taken recently. The strange part was that Jenny had never sent me nude pictures before. I looked through the rest of her phone, but couldn't find messages to anyone or anything obviously suspicious. And guys, that's where I'm going to end part 1, because we're getting a little long here. And you're about to see where our guy is pushed to the dark side. And he goes to the dark side, good lord. But then realizes, well, you'll see there. So in 2 hours, I'll be back. And you'll definitely enjoy this. Those of you like revenge stories. And some of you like hearing guys go to the dark side. And I'll make my point at the end of this story. So definitely, you'll get your money's worth. I'll see you in 2 hours.